Y'all wouldn't believe the atrocious hour that I'm having this Red Bull. But just know that at least it's not super late. It's not late at all. It's the first of the month, money is low, rent is up, but we still have to do our July TBR. And so that's exactly what we're gonna do today. Last month I did enjoy using the wheel to choose our TBR picks. And so this month I'm still gonna use the wheel, but I have changed the prompts and so that we can try to pick some different type of books. Looking back on our June TBR, I picked 5 books. I didn't get to 2 of them. I finished 2 of them and then I DNF'd one. I DNF'd Hungerstone. I finished both Want by Gillian Anderson and The Wolf and His King by Finn Longman. I did not get to Son of the Storm by Suyi Davis Okumbowa, and I did not get to Clash of Kings by George R.R. Martin. I really do want to get to those books, but it just was not happening in June. I don't know what happened in June. I really don't know what happened. I read only 6 books, and it just is what it is. Like, I did not do a lot of reading for some reason. I was so tired and stressed, I think. I had just a lot going on outside of my life. Did I? I had a lot going on to me. But we did finish 2 of them. I did know Hungerstone. I gave it a good chance too, but I was almost finished and everything. But I will talk about all of that inside of my reading wrap up that will come out next week. For this month, I thought we could do something a bit different. July is Disability Pride Month, and so I have already set up a second wheel that has all those picks that I picked out specifically to choose a book that has disability representation. And then our second TBR wheel will be our regular picks that we choose for the month of July. And I think I'll continue doing this each month, that there's like a heritage month or like an observation during that month. I think I'll continue doing that, and so I'll have one book that's kind of our non-negotiable read, but it will still be choosing it and have some variety in our choices so we can like have that representation during that month. And then I'll choose maybe 3 to 4 books to add to our regular TBR. I think this month, we'll see how this goes. I'm going to for sure choose at least 1 book from our Disability Pride Month representation wheel. I was going to choose 3 books from our regular TBR wheel and just have 4 months for the month of June, but let's choose the 3 books from our regular wheel first, and then maybe I'll choose 2 books from our disability picks. We're gonna see how this goes because I don't want my TBR to snow me. Last month, I got all fantasied out, and I think that's what messed me up. I think my entire TBR was fantasy and then 1 nonfiction, and then that 1 nonfiction ended up being nothing but sex. Nothing but sexual fantasies. So I am all fantasied out, okay? Not saying that I won't read a fantasy in the month of July, but I am literally all fantasied out. And at one point I was all sexed out too. So I was like, let me just read some YAs. But then I had 2 DNFs in the month of June, and I was like, I just need to take a step back. Also, can you guys hear me okay? I'm trying to figure out my mic situation and my light situation. I tried to fix the light situation, guys, with the reflection in the glasses, and I made it worse. So I'm also trying to figure out the whole mic situation, but that's not the point of this video. We're gonna go ahead and spin the wheel for our first book. And the last one, I should wait. Oh! I have already assigned books to certain prompts on the wheel, and then some of them are like, oh, I have to go and check and see what I have, just to have it a bit more organized and see what I have and what I want to read so that I know what's on my shelves. I thought I was going to pick on Fable Chooses, and I was kind of scared about that because I don't know what's on my Fable TBR inside the app because it is not the same as like my Goodreads app TBR or the books that are on my shelf. Like everything is different, which makes it kind of fun. And then when it got to a book that matches the season, which is summer right now, I was a bit nervous because I think I only have 1 book assigned to that prompt, and I don't know if I want to read that right now. And I don't know how that was going to make our month go. But the prompt is read it or unhaul it, which is very interesting. I have an entire stack of books over here that y'all can't see that I have took off my shelf a long time ago, like months ago, that I was just going to be like, unhaul it. But some of them I weren't sure about. So we have so many books to choose from. I'm not going to go through all of them right now, but maybe I'll put like a clip on the screen to show you guys the choices that I was choosing from. But let's pick a few of them that I was on the fence about, and then let's see what we have. So these are our picks right now, right? We have Winter's Orbit by Everetta Maxwell, which I have already tried to start before, and I DNF'd it because I didn't know if it was going to have the amount of romance that I wanted in the book. I've seen a lot of reviews say that a lot of the romance comes in the second book. I was really interested in this book because it is an arranged marriage, which is a trope that I really like, and it's sci-fi, which I don't read read a lot of, and I was really hoping that this would get me into the sci-fi genre. So I was going to give this one another chance, but I had gotten quite ahead in the book, like maybe a couple chapters. I didn't get very far, but I did get a bit to know that like, I'm not in the mood for this right now, and I don't know if this is my type of book, but I was going to go back to it just to confirm. Like I wanted to give it another chance. Then we have The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. Know how I am a name. This is a very popular thriller, I want to say, and I picked it up, and I think I just was not in the mood for it at the time, and I never picked it up again. And I was going through my shelves, and I was asking myself, is this a book that I was ever going to pick up again? And I was like, no. Like, I don't think this is a book that I wanted to own. It's one of those books where I wanted to like maybe rent from my library or borrow on Libby, something like that. But I don't know if this was a book that I needed to have on my shelf. So I put it in the unhaul pile to come back to later. The next one is Felix Ever After, and I almost picked this book up in June because I was going to do a video where I only read Black queer reads, and this was one of the books for one of the prompts that I had picked out. Unfortunately, I got sick before I could finish filming that video, and I just scrapped it. But this was one of the books that I had picked up for the month of June to read, and the prompt just never got picked, and I had just left it in the unhaul pile because I'd had this book for so long. And it's a YA book that follows our main character, Felix. Felix is Black, queer, and transgender, and he gets sent these anonymous transphobic messages from a student who is exposing his dead name, and so he chooses to go on a quest of revenge. And I believe the story is basically going to follow his journey of self-discovery and like finding himself while also having a small love triangle. So I was really excited for this book. I've just had it for so long that I just never knew if I was actually going to get around to it and if I actually wanted to own it, and so I had put it in the unhaul pile. So this may be a book that I pick up anyway because I was actually going to read it, and it might be something that I'm in the mood for right now. Like maybe I need a little bit of joy in my life. I feel like I would most likely finish Felix Ever After, and so I think that's the one I'm going to pick. We're going to go ahead and spin for book 2. Oh, it was so close. It was so close to Be Gay, Do Crime. However, our prompt is This Is For. This Is For is actually just a sapphic pick. It could be any sapphic pick that I want, which is fun. So I actually have all of my sapphic books in one place now. So I'm gonna go see. Actually, I probably could just take you guys with me and tell you guys. Let's do that. I don't know if you guys like this angle, but that's okay. Okay. I don't feel like taking some picks out and then having to re-put back the ones that I didn't pick, right? So over here is Sapphic Fantasy, which this one is not in the right place. It should be over here, but that's fine. And then this is like regular Sapphic romances. I obviously don't have a lot, which I'm very sad about, but I'm building my collection. Don't worry. We're gonna fix it. This is Sapphic Fantasy. I am not in the mood for fantasy right now, but there are a couple choices on here that I may pick up even though it's fantasy. I'm not gonna pick up this one. This one is Make the Season Bright by Ashley Herring Blake. That's a Christmas romance, and I have no interest in reading Christmas right now. Plus, we may do Summerween. The ones that I am interested in are Tri-Six Venom by Penelope Douglas. I've had this book for so long, and I've not read it. It's like a, I don't know if it's dark romance, but it would be in that vein. But it's just like a sapphic spicy romance. Oh God, there's a blurb by Colleen Hoover on here. Should I second guess this? Anyways, but I am intrigued by this one, and I've been wanting to read this one for a while, and so I may pick this one up. So we're gonna put this one here. Another one that I might pick up and may be able to read for Summerween is The Witch in the Shadowwood. I haven't heard anyone say anything about this book. It's by Tori Ann Martin, which is also an author that I haven't heard of. A friend of mine actually picked this one out when we went on vacation in Florida to go see BTS, and we stopped by some local bookshops and they had this one out. It's a sapphic Hansel and Gretel retelling. It follows our main character Greta, who was abandoned as a child and now lives as a witch's apprentice under the name Miria. She encounters a woman who's being forced into an unwanted marriage, and I'm assuming to help her, she goes on like a revenge quest to get the woman out of her marriage. It's a very cozy, romantic-y type vibe. I am interested in it, and so we may pick this one up. And then since we picked 3 to choose from the last time, oh, this is another one, House of Rain by Harley LaRue. I have read the first book in the Losers Duology by Harley LaRue, and it was okay for me. It wasn't terrible. And I also read the Dare novella that goes with it, but I haven't read the second part of the duology simply because the way that the first book ends for the Losers Duology, I kind of don't feel the need to read the second book. I may get around to it eventually, but I'm one of those people, if I'm satisfied with the first book, I won't read the second. Like, there's no love lost if I don't read the second book. So there's another thing, but I didn't mind her writing style, and some of her smut was good. So it's a sapphic supernatural gothic romance. Our main character Salem has a one-night stand with our other FMC Rain, and after that she's abandoned at Rain's family bed and breakfast, Belfour Manor, where there's just a lot of mysterious murders happening going on. I have had this book for a long time, I just haven't gotten around to it, and so this is also a top contender. There's a lot of good picks this month, so we may read one of these fantasies. Actually, we may read one of these. I'm gonna go with House of Rain by Harley LaRue. I think I'm gonna choose House of Rain simply because I could go for some nice gothic sapphic. After reading Hungerstone, I need a redemption, you know? And that's not to say Harley LaRue is gonna write the redemption, but we could always try again. After Hungerstone, I felt like maybe gothic wasn't my vibe, and I don't wanna say that. So we're gonna try again. We'll see how Harley LaRue does gothic. I'm pretty sure there are other better gothic romances, and if anyone has any, feel free to drop them down below. But for this prompt, we're gonna go ahead and choose House of Rain by Harley LaRue. This one, back. I need to move her. She's in the wrong space. You're in the wrong space, friend. Because you're technically fantasy, are you not? She's a witch. You go here. So that's our second book. Let's go ahead and choose one more for our regular TBR. No. Oh. We were doing so well. It's fine. It's cool. Oh! Oh! I know exactly what I can read. I know exactly what I can read. I'm so excited. I am so excited. I put off reading this book because I was going to do my TBR for June. And then when I didn't get around to my TBR for June, I was like, well, fuck. I could have read something else. Could have read this. I could have read this. This is Revive Me Part 2 by J.L. Seegers, The Affair. I did rate Revive Me Part 1, The Act, a 5-star. And I said in my mid-year wrap-up that I anticipated at least one more of these being a 5-star. Don't know if it's going to be this one. I'm very scared because I don't know what's going to happen. And I don't know why it's called The Affair. And I think I might crash out a little bit. But that's okay. You want to know why? Because I'm very excited. It hits all my points that I want right now. A good romance. And this one is really short. And so if I'm screaming, crying, throwing up after reading this one, at least I won't be tortured for very long. But, oh, I'm so excited, you guys. We're going to be choosing this one. This is a no-brainer. I do have another one very good pick that I could have chose, but we're going to go ahead and choose this one because I'll probably get to that book anyway. I'm very excited. That just made me really happy. I was going to be so distraught for a second because I was like, oh, what series do I want to continue right now? Not a single one. I'm always starting new series, and I usually start them accidentally because I don't actually be knowing that a book is a series until I look it up and I'm like, oh, do I have to read the other ones to read this one? And they'll be like, no. So then I'm in the middle of a series. Revive Me Part 2, J.L. Seegers. Now we're going to go ahead and choose one book specifically for disability pride representation. So I did put 7 books on here, which is why I was like, oh, if I really wanted to, I could choose 2 of them, and that'd be 5 books for the month of July. However, I don't know if I'll read all 5. That's why I was like, maybe I should decrease it down to 4. So we're going to go ahead and see what book we're going to choose for disability pride month. This is a great TBR. I'm so happy right now. Mind you, I went to a book club recently in my city, and I think they spoiled the book for me, but I try not to listen. They definitely spoiled Don't Let the Forest In. They definitely spoiled Don't Let the Forest In, and I was like, I didn't know that that was the book that they had picked for the month previous for that meeting. They spoiled that book so bad. I don't even know if I want to read it anymore. I'm still going to read it. I'm just like, well, now I know everything, but that was on me. I should have known. I should have looked up or like try to find what the book was for that month so that I have something to talk to and be more prepared. But it was still a very good book club. I was just like, dang, they would choose the 2 books that I was like highly anticipating and really liking and wanting to get to really soon. I had just checked out Icarus in the library. But regardless, we still have her. I'm very excited. I was hoping that we would choose this or Forget Me Not. But I can't find Forget Me Not inside of my library or in Libby. It may be at the bookstore, but it may be not. So I'd rather not have to go through the trouble of having to order it on Amazon and waiting, and then Amazon screws me over. For anyone who isn't familiar, Icarus is a YA queer retelling of the actual Greek myth of Icarus. Icarus is reimagined as a young art thief who is assigned to steal from a wealthy man named Mr. Black in order to get revenge for his mother's death. Icarus ends up falling for Helios, who is Mr. Black's son, and Helios does end up catching Icarus in the act of stealing from his father. However, instead of turning him in, Helios ends up bargaining with Icarus that he just wants friendship. And so I'm very excited to read this one. It has been on my TBR for a long time. I actually don't know the entire myth of Icarus, so maybe I should look that up first, get the full synopsis, get the full scope of what it's supposed to be reimagining, and maybe it'll hit harder. So we may do that. We may do that too. We have 4 books in our TBR. Do we want to go for 5? I feel like if I go for 5, I'm gonna snow myself. And it always happens. But you know what? Why not? Why not? So, should we do Disability Pride? Should we do Disability Pride? Or should we do a regular one? I think let's do Disability Pride. Just to have a book that we could put on priority. Because these are all also books that I wanted to read. So, let's see what we do. Ooh. I said I was gonna spin again and snow myself, didn't I? I did. I did. Regardless, that's what we picked, and so we shall put it up. I actually don't own this book, and so should we just ignore it? If it's available at my library, we will read it. If not, I actually already have one that's on this list already checked out. Maybe we should just do that one instead. Do I have this book? Actually, I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about this book. It follows our main character, Elliot, who is a gay TV writer who is battling addiction and trying to find his way around the world, but he's also cheating on his boyfriend and he's also struggling with cerebral palsy. This is another book that's supposed to be about self-discovery and self-exploration while also battling with yourself as you go through large life change and insight as a person with disabilities. So I did want to read this one, and I will go check it out from my library sometime during this month because I don't have it with me right now. Since I have to check it out from the library anyway, and I don't actually have a copy of it, it doesn't count as a physical TBR, right? But I may get to it anyway, I may not. What we're gonna do, we're gonna keep the 4 that we already picked because we picked a great TBR, and I don't want to give that up. I don't want to give that up. Plus, I already have one of the books that's on the spinning wheel already checked out, so I may just get to that one anyway. I'll show it to you guys just in case. It's An Unkindness of Ghosts by River Solomon. This is a sci-fi following our main character, Aster. She's queer and neuroatypical, and she is on a slave ship. The ship is called the SS Matilda, and it's shaped much like the antebellum South. And as the ship continues to pose harsher restrictions on the darker-skinned sharecroppers like Aster, she is wondering if she should basically start a civil war. This is one that I had just found for books. I have like a whole list of books that I had researched for June that I'm just going to put on my TBR because they were all just so interesting. Not all of them were queer, and not all of them were Black either, or not all of them were Black queer. I just researched a bunch of books because I had so many ideas for June. So I'll be throwing those in maybe over the next couple of months just to see if I can get to them anyway. But this is one of those books. I was excited for this one because, again, I am trying to get into sci-fi, and this one was like so highly recommended, not just for the story, but for the representation that was in here. So I am excited about this one. But this is what we're going to do. We're going to keep our 4-book TBR because it's goated right now. And then we're going to have 2 maybes that we can get to just in case. We might DNF something and be like, we can pick from our other TBR. Our official 4-book TBR for July are these 4. We have Felix Ever After by Case and Calendar, Revive Me Part 2, The Affair by J.L. Seegers, Icarus by Kay Unkroom, and House of Rain by Harley LaRue. And of course, we're going to include our 2 maybes. Our 2 maybes are An Unkindness of Ghosts by River Solomon and Just by Looking at Him by Ryan O'Connell. I'm very excited for this month. I'm very excited. If you made it this far, thank you so much for staying for the entire video. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time.